Hi, and welcome back to Daily Thoughts with Mbongs. I'm your host, Mbongeni Yegelo, also goes by Mbongs. On this podcast, I'll be talking about my thoughts on life, wellness, and other things on my mind. And thank you so much for taking your time to listen to my podcast. Hope to leave you feeling a little bit inspired. Now, let's get to today's thought, shall we? Today's thought is: some things don't just happen to you, they happen for you. Have you ever had something happen and it's difficult to deal with it, and it's hard to acknowledge it, it's hard to go through it, and then a while after you realize it was good that it happened to you? Not talking about everything, but I'm just talking about some things. When you look at it, you understand, although it was hard, although there are certain limitations, or there are certain changes since it had happened, but on the bigger scheme of things, it's one of the good things to have happened to you. I remember when I was at varsity, I dropped out my second year study. Then I went back the following year. When I left, it was through emotional issues and so on and other stuff. But then when I went back, went through everything, got my qualification eventually. That led me to do other things. And there are times where I actually realized dropping out was the best thing to happen to me. There are other things. I'm sure you can also have a moment to look at your life and realize that even though it was difficult to deal with it at the time, but it's perhaps one of the best things to happen to you. Or when you go through a breakup from the other person's fault, or they are called to make, and then months later, weeks later, you just realize, you know what, actually that breakup was the best thing to happen to me. Either you realize that through the situation that happened, you either realize that there were elements that were toxic to you, or you meet other awesome people afterwards. You meet some nice people, you form better relationships, be it romantic relationship or friendships, business relationships. It's just different things that you actually then stumble upon. When you have a failed project, and then you meet other people to discuss how you failed at doing something, next thing you know, you have friendships. Next thing you know, you've got connections. Next thing you know, your social group is growing with people that give you value, just because of that one thing that didn't go according to plan. Acknowledge that which happened to me didn't just happen to me, it happened for me. It was one of the good things to happen for me. But then, of course, it's easier to come to that realization after something has happened. Perhaps you could look at it as things happen. Approach them as they happen. To say, I'm going through this. Let me hang in there. Let me grow through what I'm going through. Let me not let other people define it to be my failure. But this thing that is happening to me is going to be the good thing to have happened for me. So as it comes, absorb the adversities that come from a position of I'm gonna grow through it. And after growing through it, it's gonna be the best thing to have happened to me. Of course, there are a lot of other things where, when they happen to you, and it's the worst thing to happen to you. I'm not saying be naive. Of course, the death of somebody nearest to you, if that happens to you, it's gonna cripple you. It's gonna mess you up in different aspects of your life. So I'm not saying go through everything blindly into it's just a growth. Some things just go through them. There's no growth. There's nothing. You just move on one step at a time. But then there are some things that they just happen for you. Embrace them as they happen for you. Try to find within those things as they happen advantages to make them happen for you.
Once again, thank you so much for listening to today's Daily Thought. I'm your host, Mbongeni Yagelo, and I look forward to engaging with you. So leave a comment, and catch you next time on Daily Thoughts with Mbongs.